Guys, I am so excited to finally be making this video because what it means is that the time is finally here. And by the time this video is posted, it will only be a couple of short days before I load up the 890 Adventure R on a trailer, load up the truck, and 3 of my good friends and myself will make the nearly 800-mile journey down to the small little West Texas town of Alpine, where we will offload the truck and the trailer, get everything set up, get a good night's sleep, and the following morning head out on the Big Bend BDR. Now, we have been planning this trip for a long time. It's been several months now. Initially, the plan was to take the Husky 701 on this trip, and in preparation for that, I did quite a bit of work to it. I changed the spark plugs, I changed the oil, I changed the coolant. What else did I do? You know, the air cleaner, all this stuff. But unfortunately, what happened is I went out to the Western Slope last week and did kind of a shakeout. Took all the gear that I was planning on taking to the BDR down in Texas, took the bike out, rode it for a couple of days, and unfortunately, I developed a leak in the front fork. So instead of taking the bike apart and going, you know, and trying to have to rush to get a new seal put in the fork, I've decided that the KTM 890 Adventure R is going to be going on this trip. So I bought this bike in October, about 4 months ago. And really, as soon as I bought it, winter set in. So it's only got like 290 miles on it right now. So I've really hardly even reached any break-in on it, but that's okay. I am going to go ahead and change the oil out, clean up the chain, and re-lube it, and we're going to Texas with it. I am super, super excited about taking this bike. I really am. I mean, I have not had a chance to really ride it just yet, but you know, the stuff that I have done around the house, it's just so fun to ride. And I think this bike is gonna handle Texas like nobody's business. So it's gonna be a great 6 or 7 days out in the backcountry out there. Now, the upgrades that I've done to it so far, as you can see, I put a graphics kit on it. I think it looks really sick like that. I wasn't a big fan of the 890 colorway for 2023, so I replaced it, put on a nice cool little graphics kit, which I think looks really good. It's got my Upshifting Adventures logo on there, so that's super cool. What else have I done? So I put on some Fastway anodized foot pegs, which are much fatter, wider than the factory foot pegs, and I lowered them and lower and back about 1/2 inch. I have added the Camel ADV one-finger clutch setup, which definitely helps a lot with the finger fatigue while you're working in technical areas. And I have put on this KTM Power Parts skid plate because the factory one's really pretty weak, right? Now I've also put this really nice titanium Aero exhaust and a decat from Aero as well. And under the seat here, I have a Uni oiled filter and the Rottweiler Performance power plate. And I'll have a couple of extra of the pre-oiled filters that I'll be taking with me because they load up pretty quick. So the Big Bend BDR it's really one of the easier BDRs that's out there, right? And it can be done really in a couple of days because it's so fast. There's a couple of more difficult routes that you can take, and we certainly are going to take those. But if you wanted to, you could probably do the whole thing in 2 or 3 days. We are taking 6 full riding days, plus the days to get there and to get home. So 6 days on the ground riding the BDR. And our plan is we'll get to our final destinations earlier in the day and then head out from there and really explore the area. But since we are staying in hotels, it gave me the opportunity to really pack super light, and that way the bike is not weighted down. I can really have a good time with it out there. But what I want to do right now is to go over the packing list that I'm taking, because, you know, I think a lot of us riders, we really take way too much stuff on almost all of our trips, right? So I'm going to go over this packing list. I've been working on this for months, making sure that I have everything I'm going to need and nothing that I don't, right? And we'll get into that right now, okay? So just going from one side of my little workbench here to the other, I'll go over everything that I'm taking on this trip. The first thing I'm going to take is, or the first thing is these rubber volet straps, okay? They're great for attaching stuff to the bike if you need to, and they can actually be used to hold things together too if something breaks, right? Obviously, you want everything you bring to have kind of a dual purpose if possible, because that allows you to take less stuff, right? I also never go anywhere without my Rox straps. If you haven't seen these things, you definitely want to look into these. They are great. They're super affordable, and they're great bungee straps for attaching just about anything you want to your bike. So here, what I've got is I've got 3 carabiners. I've got 30 feet of static climbing rope, and I've got 50 feet of 1-inch tubular nylon. With these 3 things here, you can make a winch, a come along, any sort of recovery device that you might need, okay? You can, if you're, you know, I'll be with 3 other riders, so if, you know, one of the bikes goes off of a, let's say a hill or something like that, we're in the middle of the desert, we can anchor one of the bikes into the ground the best we can, tie off to that and use it as the base, you know, what have you. There's a lot of different things you can do with this recovery system. I'll make a video on that. You keep an eye out for that, showing you just how you can really use these things to get your bike out of a jam should you be in one, right? The next thing, I don't go anywhere without some JB Weld, okay? This is basically a putty. You mix it together, it turns into steel essentially, right? Great for all sorts of repairs. Don't have to use it very often, but if you do, you're going to want to have it. The other thing I have here is a tire repair kit, okay? Now, this one is from Tusk, and inside it has everything you need to repair a tubeless tire. It's got the awl in here for cleaning out the hole, and the eyelet for putting the patch through and all of that. And it also has everything for repairing a tube tire as well, plus 3 CO2 cartridges and the hose to mount with. So it's a really nice kit to have. Now, one of the guys I'm riding with, he has tube tires. The other 3 of us will have tubeless tires. You know, and being pretty much the more experienced rider of the group, I tend to bring extra stuff so that if somebody breaks down, I can help out, right? Because I've just got a little bit more experience than the other guys that I'm riding with. I've got here a toolkit. Now, this was actually a toolkit for the Husky 701, but most all of the tools in this kit transfer over, okay? This is made by Cruise Tools. It's already comes together. You know, it's already put together when you buy it. Some people like to make their own, whatever. I just find this to be a lot easier to use. A couple of tire spoons, should we have to remove a tire from the rim. I've got a micro starter. This has come in handy before for me, so I try to, if I can, I always try to bring this micro starter with me. This one just plugs in right in here, plugs in like this, hook up to your positive and negative, and you can start your bike if it's dead, right? I also bring an air pump. So this is made by AS Max. I actually really dig this pump. A couple of weeks ago, I put some new tires on the Husky 701. Once I had them mounted, I pumped up both tires to 80 pounds with this in order to get the tire to bead on the wheel, right? Then I let all of the air out again to make sure that it was beaded, and then I re-inflated them to the proper inflation after that. So 4 times, and I still had juice left in this thing. So that's super cool. It also has a flashlight on it and can be used as a emergency power source for charging a phone, camera batteries, what have you. Now, I have a link to this on my page. If you're interested, go check them out. I really do approve of this brand of air pump. It's not the smallest, but it's actually pretty light considering its size. But what I do like is that, I've used these pumps before where you might get out on the trail, you deflate your tires, come back at the end of the day, you reinflate them for the highway. You might get 2 or 3. This thing, I would imagine, probably get 7 or 8. I'll be testing it out while I'm in Texas for sure. But like I said, on my page, there is a link to these guys' AS Max. Really great air pump. Okay, I also bring an individual first aid kit. This one's got a tourniquet, a gauze, stuff like that. I don't really bring, boo-boos and scratches kind of kits. I'm more concerned with serious injuries. So again, this has a tourniquet. It's got a field dressing. It's got some compressed gauze in it. And so if there's a major injury out there, I have a way to help out, whether it's me or some of the people I'm riding with. And then in this bag, I also have some more. I've got a burn dressing, I've got a chest seal, and some more rolled gauze and compressed gauze. And then, of course, an emergency blanket, which if somebody's injured, you definitely want to wrap them up while they're in shock or whatnot. But also, if we get stuck out there overnight, at least I've got something. We build a fire, I got something to wrap myself up with and stay warm, right? Okay, also, I have I will be bringing one freeze-dried meal just in case something happens. And in here, I've got my little pot that I take with me just about every trip I go on. Okay, so, and inside the pot, I keep a ferrous rod for sparking. These are glycerin impregnated cotton swabs, basically, made by Bigfoot Bushcraft. I'd give them a look. They're super cheap to buy. You can get like 500 of these in a bag. You crack them, you can spark them with one little spark and they'll burn for about 5 minutes each. So great for fire starting. I also bring a lighter, but you never know when those things are gonna go out on you, right? I've got my little MSR stove in here and I've got a small can of butane. So I basically have enough to make coffee for 4 or 5 mornings, which I don't plan to because I'll be in a hotel, but if the worst were to happen, and also, I can cook a couple of things if need be. One other thing that I bring with me everywhere I go is this traveling stainless steel knife, fork, and spoon set from Outlery. These things have proven to be so useful to me. I absolutely love them. I was given this set to try a while ago. I didn't get around to doing it, and then one day I took it out on a trip, and I was just like, these things, I keep one set in my truck, and then of course I bring these everywhere I go, anytime I ride the bike, and I'm gonna be out overnight. They are stainless steel. They collapse super small. The fork is a real fork. The spoon is a real spoon. The knife actually has a sharp edge on it, so you can cut steak, you can cut vegetables, you can cut whatever it is you're eating. It's not just some plaything, right? So these guys are really great. Outlery. You can also check out the link for these guys on my page. I very much enjoy using these things. They're really cool to have. All right, in here I've got just my little toiletry kit. I've got a toothbrush, some toothpaste, some deodorant, and a thing of that, super concentrated soap. So if worst comes to worst, I end up in a river somewhere washing up, I've got some soap on hand. Now this is a spare tube that I carry as well. Like I said, I'm kind of the more experienced dude in the group. I won't be running tube tires on this trip, but I'm going to bring it anyways because I've got the space and you never know when you're going to need it. I've got my neck sock in case there are some cool mornings or for dusty roads. And I've got my Big Bend BDR map. Now, all of this stuff will go into the saddlebags on my Moscow Moto Reckless 40. Okay, and then in the tail bag, I've got the last bit of kit that I'm going to be bringing with me for this trip. So in this bag, I have 2 pairs of riding socks, 3 pairs 3 pairs of underwear, and 1 extra riding jersey, just in case I get too funky while we're out on the road. We are staying in hotels, so for the evening, I've got 1 pair of pants, I've got 2 t-shirts, and then I have, just in case it's a little cool in the morning, I've got my Climb kind of lightweight jacket. And that's it, guys. That's all I'm taking for 6 whole days out on the road. Now, in my gear bag here, of course, I'll be bringing my boots, helmet, riding pants, riding jersey, gloves, goggles, stuff like that. But I'll be wearing that every day, so I didn't really kind of count that as my packing list. So, yeah, so this is everything I'm going to be bringing on a 6-day trip. It can be done. Now, I will pick up snacks along the way every day. I also have my backpack that I'll be wearing mostly for my Camelback, right? So I have some water, and I've got to carry all my camera equipment and stuff like that as well. But that's really additional over what most people bring on a trip. So this coming year, it's February right now of 2025. This coming year, I've got so many things planned, and I am planning on taking this 890 adventure on all of them, and I will do a really good long-term review at the end of the year with all of the events and riding that I've done with it. And of course, I will do, intermediately, I'll have a great review on the bike after this trip to Texas, and I will continue to let everybody know how the 890 Adventure R is treating me. Again, you guys all know I'm a huge KTM fan. I am a loyalist, and I know that this bike is going to be so much fun, so I'm not really even worried about it. All right, so last thing I'm gonna say before I end this video, kind of a public service announcement. Guys, one thing about adventure riding is it does take it out of you, right? Days on end, pounding the dirt out there on the bike. I am 53 years old now, right? And I have to work hard to stay in shape. And each year gets harder and harder, but I am a true, a die-hard rider, and I don't plan on quitting anytime soon, but I have had to get smarter about some things over the years, and one of those is nutrition, okay? I bought a juicer not too long ago from a company called Hurom, and I absolutely love juicing now, man. It is 100% a part of my daily routine. I wake up every morning, I chop up my fruits and vegetables, and I make a nice glass of juice. I feel better, I feel lighter, I have more energy, and I am super glad that I found this this kind of a lifestyle thing, right? If you're interested, there's a link on my page. Go to their website, check them out. Do yourself a favor, invest in yourself. When it comes to riding, you are going to perform better, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna have more energy, and you'll just be able to, it'll make the ride that much more enjoyable for you, okay? So anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, please give me a great big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you get alerted anytime I put out new content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys out on the trail. Yeah.